I'm back. Come on now, y'all know I wasn't gonna end the video like that. Finally made the distance of 2.5 miles. Back is screaming. I needed to get out of the house. I can't be in the house all the time. I go stir crazy. And right now, getting ready to head over to Panera. I wish I was heading here to the nail salon. I'm getting ready to head over to Panera and get some... Oh, damn. Getting wet. I don't know if I'm going to buy a bagel or if I'm going to get like bread like I did yesterday and make a soup bowl out of it. I'm really not sure. How long I need to sit down to make my back stop spasming is going to be the determining factor in that. Just saying. And I'm also going to use their Wi-Fi so I can upload probably this video, because I don't have nothing else going on right now. It's my old doctor's office that doesn't take my insurance anymore, so they're no help to me. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see it, but way over there. There's a tent. And as soon as it hits like December 1st, they start setting up the tents for the New Year's Eve fireworks sales. So I know in some states they're illegal. I just got hit in the eye. I know they're illegal in some states, but they are legal here. For the most part. Other than... I can't even think of the name of them. What are those big ones called that like blow up toilets and stuff in schools? Oh, look at a guy over here doing some lady's hair. He's behind the screen. You go, boy. But I don't even remember. Not cherry bombs. They're called something else. They're like a small form of dynamite. Thank you. It's dripping everywhere. Thank you, ma'am. She's holding the door for me everywhere we go. Walk my happy behind to the back here. And then I have a Christmas card that I need to mail out for the twins' parents. For those of you new to the channel, I was a surrogate in 2009 and I had twin girls for a couple. They are very white. They are not mine. I was a gestational surrogate, which means that you basically just do the carrying. You don't actually donate your eggs. So I was not an egg donor. Oh, they did use an egg donor though, so I'm going to try to stand this tripod up for once.
A lot of corruption.
Look at that, hands-free. That's awesome. But yeah, I was a gestational surrogate in 2009, so the girls are now 9 years old. A year older than Chase. I got pregnant with Chase literally 5 months later, which was okayed by my doctor. I'm trying to tilt this up a little bit. Anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna send their parents a Christmas card, and I'm sure they'll send one back. They are awesome about sending cards constantly. Birthdays, holidays, Mother's Day, they're on it. I slacked the last year. I ain't even gonna lie.
So basically, my Christmas would be.
Anyway, that's where I'm at. So I keep saying I'm gonna do a video on the surrogacy. I don't know if I'm gonna show the girls or not, because I kind of feel like, you know, that's their privacy right. The kids are theirs, but I do see them once or twice a year on the girl's birthday for sure. And They used to come to Chase's birthday parties, but because of the fact his dad has them every Saturday, I don't have parties anymore, so they do not make it to those, but we meet up here and there. It's a very good experience, though. So a lot of people are like, oh, it should have been so hard. I couldn't part with them, but they weren't related to me. You know, I got into it. Surrogacy is something you do for the other people. You don't do it for yourself. So I was cool with it from day one. You got to go through psychological exams and all kinds of crap and have lawyer documents drawn up. So it's something you do not get into lightly. And I actually had worked with another couple before them, and much different experience. That couple already had 2 girls. I guess she hit her 40s and was like, oh my God, baby fever, kind of like me. And she was like, I have to have another baby, so they hired me as a surrogate. I think we tried 3 or 4 times. But she was determined to use her own eggs and not use a surrogate for the eggs, which the doctor had recommended, and it just never worked. We even put in 3 embryos one time, and I was like, oh my God, I could be pregnant with triplets or quadruplets if they split. So it just didn't work, but she would go like ghost mode every time we got done with the cycle, and it just wasn't the pleasant experience I expected. And when you get into it as a surrogate, you got to realize sometimes these people don't want contact with you. Sometimes they don't want their kids to know that you were a surrogate. They don't want the kids to know anything about you. You have to be willing, to do all that stuff, or it goes in the contract that you're not willing to do it. And since I was pretty open, I got matched pretty easily. I think the only ifs, ands, or buts that I had was if it was going to be like a same-sex couple or a single parent. I wanted to make sure that I met the person first, because when you're doing these documents, sometimes they're like, are you willing to have a celebrity as your parent, couple, single parent, whatever, and you're not ever going to meet them. So I was cool with all that. I just wanted to meet them if it was going to be like a single parent. Not that there's anything wrong with being a same-sex couple or a single parent, but I just wanted to make sure that was something that I had. And other than that, I didn't have any limitations. So I got matched pretty easily. I worked with the first couple for like 2 years, and I took a break. And I was like, oh, I need a break, because you got to understand, when you're the gestational surrogate, you're taking hormones. I mean, you're injecting yourself with progesterone, you're taking estrogen pills, you're doing all this stuff to your body to get ready to carry a pregnancy that is from somebody else. So when I think we put in 3 embryos when we did the girls, and 2 of them stuck. So the third one didn't, but they were all really good quality, and it was really cool. So I always tell people I have seen these girls since they were 5 days after being fertilized as an egg, and it's a very cool thing. It's a very cool experience, but you have to be mentally ready, and you got to understand these are their kids, they're not your kids. So I was joking with them all the time. I'm like, yeah, because I was considered advanced maternal age at 35. This is turning into a surrogacy video. Because I was considered advanced maternal age being over 35, I was 37. We had ultrasounds left, right, and center, and it was awesome because they got to see the girls all the time. I mean, we saw them smiling, we saw them blinking, we saw them sucking their thumb. I mean, they got all kinds of really cool videos, so I'm actually really happy that they got that experience. When you're younger, you don't get that many ultrasounds done, so it was kind of cool. But they are a super cool couple. Very, very cool, very laid back, very easygoing, and it was such a great experience that when I got done, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do another one, because I know a bunch of my surrogate friends that had a horrible experience, and I was like, I don't want, whatever my last surrogacy experience is to be a bad experience, because with the first couple, they were never going to tell the kids they used a surrogate. They were never going to have me around, and it's very weird to talk to a phone while you're sitting in a coffee shop. Got people looking at me like I'm crazy, but whatever. So, I don't know. I'll get into that, I guess, another video. But for right now, it was a 5-day transfer for those of you who are doing the IVF thing, because that's exactly what we did, in vitro fertilization. The kids are totally related to the egg donor and the dad, not to me. Mom had a reaction to the medication, so she couldn't tolerate like using the medication to stimulate her to get more eggs. It was causing her heart problems, and she already had a heart condition to begin with, so they actually put a stent in, I believe, during the whole procedure. So, you know, for her safety, they ended up using an egg donor, and it was a great experience. So I have 2 other children that I have given birth to out of the sunroof, like my TTC people like to say, which means out of your belly and not out of the vajay. And one is blonde with blue eyes, and the other one is like brown-haired with green eyes. Hazel eyes, I would say. My umbrella is falling over. It does not like me right now. Stop it. Anyway. So, this has turned into a definite, I can't add this to the other video. I'm going to have to make this a separate video. But yeah, it's gestational surrogacy. It's very cool. You know, you're giving people something that is a dream of theirs that they wouldn't be able to achieve on their own. And you just have to enter it with the right mindset that this is not going to be your kid. You're not keeping this kid. Of course, I took all the precautions during pregnancy, but on the same note, I knew that when I had these kids at the hospital, I was handing them over, you know. And they do not live close. They live about an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half away, depending on traffic. So because I had worked in labor and delivery before, they were actually really cool about it, and they gave me my room. When you deliver, you're in the delivery side, this umbrella, and then you go to the mother-baby unit when you have the babies. So the way it was written up, both of the babies was baby A and B and had my last name. And I had to actually show them the legal documents and bring them with me that were drawn up by the lawyer to show, no, these kids have to be named after them. So that was it's not a glitch, but it's just something you have to go through. And then they were nice enough to offer them a room, because after my C-section, I was up and walking like 6 hours later. Toward all what? Your girl was walking. I don't care. I was up and walking the babies up and down the hall, and every time they needed to take them to the nursery, they would ask me and not the parents, so it was kind of weird. But, you know, they got everything done that needed to be done, and it was a great experience. And it was actually really funny the first day, because the parents had been with the babies, and mom tried to do breastfeeding, which basically, if you study back in the old Middle Ages time, the medieval times, there were wet nurses, and wet nurses basically were people who had women who had breast milk all the time, and they fed rich people's babies because rich people didn't want to feed their own kids. No. So you had a wet nurse, and basically that's what a wet nurse was. She breastfed your kids. So we had already discussed it ahead of time, and they were wanting me to do breast milk because of the fact that it helps build antibodies and everything, and I did, and I was cool with it. It's nature. It's no big deal. You know, people get way too squeamish about stuff, and it ain't that serious, seriously. But anyway, I was pumping milk, and I had like a $220, sorry, I got hiccups, Medela pump, and it worked great. And I was meeting them like every week and giving them like a whole cooler full of milk that I had pumped throughout the week. So that was for a while, and maybe the first 4 to 6 weeks. And then they switched over to formula. So, you know, all was good in the hood. But at the hospital, mom actually was trying to see if she could self-stimulate, which a lot of people don't know this, but if a non-pregnant woman, I'm sitting in the middle of a coffee shop talking about this, with 2 guys over there looking at me like I'm crazy. All right, if a non-pregnant woman stimulates the nipple region enough, you actually will produce milk after a while. And like way after I even weaned them, like 6 months later, I could still squeeze a little bit out. So it's just the way the body works. So she was using like a tube system that had a syringe up here with the milk that I made going to a thin catheter, a very thin catheter that went down to her nipple on a shield, and basically the baby would suck on that. Well, that didn't work very well the first couple days in the hospital, and Mom has she's a twin, and Mom has a deformity of her spine, so it kind of makes it hard for her to look down. So for her, it was just very painful to bend her head down that way and try to look to position the baby properly. So for the first, like I said, 4 to 6 weeks, I pumped milk, and then after that, they switched over to formula, and they were good to go. So they're beautiful girls, they're super smart, totally different personalities, totally different looking. It's awesome to me that they got twins, because ultimately they wanted 2 kids, and they thought maybe they would have to do the surrogacy thing twice, and it's very expensive. It's around $30,000 to $40,000. It's a lot. But they had planned in advance because they already knew that Mom couldn't carry just because of her spinal issue as well as the heart problem that she had. So something that I definitely don't regret, but I'm very, very proud of. And if any of you are out there in your 20s, consider it, because you know it's a huge thing that you can give to somebody, and it's very rewarding to know that I put 2 more humans on this planet that are not mine, but they're here because of the gift that I was willing to give somebody else. So they're very appreciative, and I am too. So I guess that's all of the surrogacy video because I pretty much spilled it all right now. And I didn't intend to. And my umbrella just fell down again. Oh, let me go get my umbrella. But like and subscribe. It's always something new and crazy.